RTAG Nation, what is up? What is going on? We are so excited to have you. We've got lots of updates to get to in kind of a short amount of time, so we're excited to see you all. It looks like we've got people logged on. We're so excited. As you notice, I'll start out with check out the shirt. So we finally got our shirts in for RTAG Nation. Rockin' 80s style, and these will be available at the convention for you to grab. And at the end of the show, I'll show you some of our limited edition stuff that we're actually going to have there for you to grab. And when I say limited edition, we probably are going to sell out at the convention. So you can see that we've got an awesome new set of stickers there that are going to be super cool. But we are so thankful that you are stopping by. We wanted to get this out. I know it's odd on a Tuesday, but we wanted to make sure we had some time to do this in the schedule with our special guest today. So I'm actually going to, without further ado, bring him on, and we're going to get rolling right into what we've got today. And I got to get him on. Bam, there he is. Rob, you got me, buddy?
What's up, Super Josh? How are you, brother?
What's going on, man?
I love the shirt, man.
It's awesome. I'll save you one.
Please do.
If you didn't know, those of you who are watching, this is Rob Ceravolo, and he is not only the awesome owner, starter, founder, CEO of Tropic Ocean Airlines, or Airways, I assume, right? But which is, correct me if I'm wrong, the largest amphibious operation in the United States, correct?
That's correct.
That is
in
super
the world,
cool. Oh, in the world. And not only that, but he is a true F-14 Top Gun pilot, and will be out with us at the convention in San Diego. So welcome, Rob, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm psyched to be here. I'm psyched to be out at the convention too, and I love what you guys are doing. This industry sucks sometimes in terms of finding good people, and you're really bringing some great people into the fold and helping them get started. So thanks for what you guys are doing.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Rob and I, we met through, we met a while ago now. Seems like a short time. Yeah. It's probably been 2 years now. And yeah, that's right. And we've been talking for a long time about how we can, really change the way veterans are hired in the aviation industry. That's the one big thing is, I know at Tropic Ocean, you guys love to hire veterans. You love to hire people that are ready and committed. Tell us a little bit about the veterans that you've hired and kind of why you gear more towards, obviously because you are one, but gear more towards veterans when you try to hire at the company.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think just not just in aviation, right? I think veterans and transitioning to the civilian world, a lot of times the civilian companies don't really understand what veterans bring to the table. So what if you have 250 flight hours that you got on your own? If you've been in the military or even LEO, by the way, or some other organization like that, where you were brought up, where you were taught attention to detail early on, you understand standard operating procedures, you understand training and development and mentorship and debrief concepts and taking feedback to grow. That's really tough to find in the civilian world, especially in aviation. So like for me, I mean, I know if I hire a veteran, I don't care how much flight time you have, I get a known quantity, right? And you're going to give a shit. You're going to put effort into becoming a professional at your career. And I think it's a challenge, I think, right now in our industry in the civilian world.
I think so. You're exactly right. And we talked to a lot of people that, they didn't understand. They kind of didn't know the difference between the bridge gap, and they go, okay, well, I've been hiring Air Force people forever because, Air Force people fly big airplanes and all this stuff. And, that was our big concern. And I think that's what brought you and I together more too, is that, there's a lot of people that don't have those thousands of hours in a C-17 that are going to be just as efficient, and because they've got the fundamentals to train.
It's the fundamentals, man. Hours means nothing. And that's what I miss about the military and how they train. Look, I landed on an aircraft carrier, right, with 300 hours. I was over Iraq with 370 hours. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So flying around in circles means absolutely nothing if you're not being trained and developed. And I think people who come out of the military understand that concept.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Eric and I talk about quite a bit is, we're, doing night vision dust landings in Afghanistan under fire. You're probably going to be fine flying an Airbus.
Yeah.
So what are you guys, what are you all looking for? Because I know it's a little different, and people always wonder, what are the minimums? What are the things that I need to be ready to be hired at Tropic Ocean? So what are you guys looking for? What's your ideal candidate? And then what are you taking applications at?
Yeah, Josh, that's a good question, man. We have like 3 pathways, if you will, at Tropic, right? We have the one which I know you guys are supporting quite a bit right now, which is the someone who wants to get into the airlines as soon as possible. Look,
that's right.
Everyone wants to fly a 777. make six figures and work 10 days a month. Me personally, like, no offense to anybody who's an airline pilot already on the call, by the way, I'm sorry for your plight, but I don't want to eat McDonald's in Albuquerque terminals. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not for me, but some people really want to get there. It's a great career. It's a good lifestyle career. So we have a pathway where we'll bring you on at, 250 hours in commercial in the right seat. We upgrade you, and about a year later, you move on to whether a regional you found on your own, or you go through one of our partners. Like, we work closely with Endeavor, for example. We could get you an additional job offer, like 800 hours rather at Endeavor, right? The second bucket, or the second pathway we have, are folks who say, look, I don't want to do that for a living. I want to be home at night. I want to, fly celebrities to the islands in the Bahamas and hang out on the floats during a layover. And we have a career path and a progression for that. And we have some folks here that have been with us for years, that's just what they want to do for the rest of your life. And then we have a management track, which I think, when you look at veterans and what they bring to the table, that management track is key, because I need people to help, scale up our training program as we launch operations, because we're in multiple countries right now, and as we launch operations in different regions, we need regional chief pilots and regional directors of operations. So you have these three pathways. But in terms of like how we hire, we'll hire into the right seat with 250 hours, and it's again, hours means nothing to us. It's how we develop you.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I mean, it's great that you have so many pathways that offer, like you said, with Endeavor, that's huge to have a partnership with Endeavor that at 800 hours, you can get a CJO, finish up your time and roll over there. But I think one of the ones I want to talk about just for a second too, is where we call it E2A. It's one of the, enlisted to airlines, that we have so many people that weren't pilots that have GI Bill, or they have ways to really, they want to be in the seat to fly. And there's so many options. So if you're listening to this and you want to fly, and that's what you want to do, but you weren't an aviator in the military, this is your spot. You could come here. You could come here with 250 hours, which is very inexpensive to get, especially if you have a GI Bill. You can partner with somebody who has GI Bill. And then you can sit here. And then how long does that take? Let's say somebody comes to you, 250 hours, a right seat. And do they sign agreements, or what does that look like for you guys?
So, I keep saying that I don't believe in hours is, giving you quality. Unfortunately, we have limits, right? Like FAA requirements. So in order to sit in the left seat, you need 1,200 hours. We do VFR upgrade guys, and girls, for, 500-600 hour time frame. So to get to the IFR left seat of an amphib is probably about a year from the 250 mark. But we brought people in, 800-900 hours who are CFIs. We'll upgrade you in 90 days. So it really just depends on the needs. And I'll tell you, man, like, as we come out of the pandemic, we've hired, I think I told you this, 25 pilots in the last 4 months.
That's insane.
We're doing a few more classes in Q1 and Q2, because look, we're growing. We're back to growing again as a company. It's exciting, so.
That's exciting. Me personally, knowing you personally, it's always, I love our catch up conversations and stuff, but it's always good. You're like, dude, we're growing. We're pumped up. I will tell you personally, those who are watching right now are going to watch here in the next, few days with this. If you've ever thought about just the chill life, I went out to, right before the pandemic, actually, we did this long form podcast. Rob took really good care of me. All the people at Tropic Ocean took good care of me. And actually Zoe, my daughter, and they took us out flying. We landed in Miami Harbor, and, man, I'll tell you what, seeing that and kind of shorts and a polo and the chill lifestyle. I remember you said something about Sofia Vergara. You guys fly her quite a bit. I'm sure there's some people that would be interested in that. I'm more like, do you fly any NHL stars? That's kind of what you got any hockey players that you fly, but that kind of lifestyle, that's absolutely what people are looking for. People that are retired, they've got, they want to do something that's more chill, home every night. I think it's just such a perfect opportunity and brings such a dynamic difference to RTAG, really. So thank you for supporting us, but to bring such a difference to what we can offer people and veterans that want to transition. And being a veteran yourself, how has that kind of driven you or impacted you on the way that you run the business and formulate the plan on how because it's obviously working?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. No, that's a good question, man. On several fronts, right? From a training perspective, sometimes I'm an asshole to work for. I want you to memorize EPs, right? Emergency procedures, right? Sure. Some guys have quit because they're like, look, and non-military, they're like, I don't want to work for. Why do I need to know EPs? But if you have a military background, you're a veteran, you understand risk management, you understand challenges, so you get what we're trying to do here. We're trying to professionalize small aircraft aviation, and frankly, if you lose an engine, right, or your engine's on fire, you don't have time to break out a checklist. You better know your EPs. Right. So little things like that, right? So definitely we've designed the training program around that military mentality, right? That I love it. Took with me. I'd love to say I'm a genius, but I stole it from the Navy, essentially, right?
There you go.
And the second thing too, it's like a very work hard, play hard kind of place to work, right? So like you said, there's times like slow time right now, the guys and girls go out, they sit on a float on a layover for 3 or 4 hours, go snorkeling, right? Come the holidays, that's like our deployment, right? Like Christmas time's our deployment, and everyone's working their ass off, very long days, maximizing how much you can fly as per FAA requirements. And again, it reminds me a lot of my time in the Navy, where you had that work hard, play hard, that peaks where you're working your ass off on deployment or just prior to deployment, and then you come off deployment and you take vacation, right?
Yep.
Very similar. And I'm very comfortable in that environment. It's not for everybody, but I think a lot of people understand that environment and might actually enjoy it. You know?
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of people like me that have trouble sometimes. We're like, man, when I retire, I'm just gonna play video games all day or whatever. And you get retired, and you're like, this, okay, I can't just sit around.
You get bored, man.
You get
bored.
Bored.
Look, a lot of my old squadron mates, I mean, look, I keep very close contact with a lot of my friends in the Navy. And I think I told you this, I'm flying F5s to get on a contract, by the way. And a lot of these guys who are airline pilots now are like, I'm trying to find something else to do, right? Because they're bored. They're flying 10 days a month, and they're a 777 guy, and they enjoy it, but they've got 2 other jobs on the side. And I think we're all the same way, right? Look, I mean, I know, and I'm sure there's a lot of veterans on this call, I think we all go through the same thing. When you transition to the civilian world, sometimes it's really hard to find that purpose.
That's right.
Right? It is. And I think we all struggle with it. I've had very dark moments at night. Look, there's a reason why Tropic Ocean Airways, does hurricane support, like massive hurricane relief efforts, because it's my happy place. I know
That's
everyone going to get everybody deployed and go and do something. And frankly, even working with you guys, like I feel like the people that I'm bringing out, we're bringing a couple of veterans who are flying for us, right? That are going to come out to RTAG. They all feel like they're part of something greater, right? And I think it's important,
Man, I love to hear that. And that's one of the things, I know that the board we talk about is we want to do this so much more. We want to be so much different than all of the other places. And we want to do so much more and have an impact and really be able to affect people. I know this last year was a struggle for a lot of folks because, either they retired or they got out, and then the world is kind of shut down, and we're just not really designed to do that. So one of the things I did want to talk about, and you led into it perfectly, which is great, is, you guys aren't just, and it's really to you. I'll give you a big applause for that because I know it's something you're passionate about. We've talked about many times, but hurricane support. Tell us a little bit about that. I obviously know those stories, but tell us a little bit about the stuff that you've done for the hurricanes in the Bahamas. And I think before we met, actually, there was another hurricane response that you guys did. Tell us a little bit about that because I think that registers with a lot of people on more than just come fly this plane.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, Josh. So look, people think that if you run an airline, then you must be wealthy. And you guys forget, like, I was in the Navy. I was some jackass who flew jets. You know what I mean? Like, I sold everything. I sold my house. I was broke. I rode a bicycle for 2 years. I think you might know that story. Trying to get the company off the ground. And Nick, who's my partner, is a former Marine Corps crew chief. On CH-53s, would sleep on a cot at the Miami Seaplane base. But fast forward to 2012, we were asked to fly some Christmas presents over to Bimini. Right, we ended up donating the flight. I had $6,000 limit on my credit card. We were like $5,500. I had to put gas in the but we felt like we were bringing something to the Bahamas. So we brought these gifts, and it became Santa's Seaplane. It became this annual event. We would bring Santa Claus in, all these islands, all this other stuff. Hurricanes hit in 2015. I had a guy quit. He said, I'm gonna run the company into bankruptcy because I went to BJ's, loaded up my Jeep with a bunch of supplies. It was like a Costco. We loaded up an airplane. We flew it out there, and that started this 5-day effort where we partnered with some fire guys out of Palm Beach, and we rescued 33 people off the beaches in the southern Exumas and carried 50,000 pounds of aid. Hurricane year after year after year. Come 2019, I had started working with a group called Blue Tide Marine. It's a great group of Americans. You love these guys and girls. The guys are a former Dev group. Yeah. Actually, success. And so we've done some stuff, and it was not funny, but it was coincidental. In June of 2019, we're down in St. Martin together giving a presentation about what a good disaster response effort could look like.
That's awesome.
And we had back of the napkin sketched out, man, this is what it like, put the amphibs, put these hard chargers in like rubber boats and drop them in different places. September rolls around, Hurricane Dorian sits over the northern Bahamas. I call the guy up. I'm like, you ready? He's like, you ready? And I partnered with a couple of folks from the Bahamian government. We created an ops center in my hangar, and we brought in Delta Airlines. Kind of cool because we have a very close relationship with Delta.
Yeah.
One of my partners texts me, and he's on the board of Delta, and he says, hey, Delta wants to know what they can do to help. Do you need more pilots? And I wrote back, I need bigger planes. Yeah. And in 2 days, I kid you, I had an MD-88 sitting on my ramp here.
That's awesome.
And man, in 10 days, this team effort, we carried 250,000 pounds of aid, and we evacuated 900 people in 10 days, all based out of my little hangar. And what was really cool about that, and I know we talk about veterans, having it, but what I loved about my company at that moment was that, 80% of the company's civilians.
Yep.
They all looked like they were in the military, man. Like everybody worked hard. There was no complaining. I mean, of course, we're always bitching, right?
Yeah.
But there was just working 20 hours a day to get the mission done. And, and I think everyone felt that, like it meant something that they were doing this. And I think it was important.
That's awesome. I think that, I remember us talking about that and you were telling me that story and I was just like, man, we have got to, that was the first thing we were like, dude, we've got to connect this together. Cause that's exactly, the things that we want to do is make that impact. And, for those of you who are interested or thinking about seaplanes or wanting to advance your time, or if you want to do something different than airlines, and do more than just be a pilot or you want to be somebody that makes a difference, or you want to do management track or something like that later on. And that's something you have so many options at Tropic Ocean. So before we go to some live questions, and I'm seeing some pour in, some live questions come in and we'll get to those, Rob, and I'll ask you, but what are you guys, how many are you guys looking? Do you know how many you need in the next little while? Do you know what's going on with that?
Yeah. So like I said, we just hired 25 pilots for the last 4 months, right? We're going to hire, I think, another 4 or 5 in Q1.
Okay.
And then we're assessing. So you remember, we were growing fast pre-pandemic. Pandemic obviously kicked us in the nuts a little bit, which, kind of stymied that growth, but we're back to growth mode. And we also have people that'll leave us to go to the airlines, right? So as we project out, I think we're going to be another 25 pilots, at least in 2022.
That's awesome. So that's, those of you who are qualified, get in. And then those of you who are looking, maybe forecasting, if you're coming to RTAG, come meet them. It's really interesting because, again, we're planners, right? Military planners. He'd love to forecast you out. They're going to have a great crew. Before we get to the questions, though, one of the cool things I'm super excited that we've kind of worked together on is this something that you're going to see if you go to our website right now, but that is live. But tell everybody a little bit about this scholarship that we're going to offer as part of RTAG and part of
So we're offering a scholarship to Jack Brown's to get a seaplane rating, which is, by the way, it's a fun rating. So in 2009, when I had decided to start the company, I went to get my seaplane rating at Jack Brown's. So we've worked closely with Jack Brown's over the years, and that's where I met Nick. And Nick was, my seaplane instructor who became a partner in the company and our COO now and still flies the line. And I was used to wearing all my flight gear, like 40 pounds of flight gear. Yeah. And Nick's going to show up and he's like, hey man, take your shoes off. Let's go flying. And literally we flew around in a Piper Cub barefoot, at like 60 knots and 50 feet, buzzing alligators in Central Florida. It's just, you fall in love with seaplanes, right? It's a very romantic thing and everything else. And Jack Brown's, again, they get it. They put on a phenomenal training program. Love working with those guys. And the scholarship's in honor of Jim Wagner, it's actually chief pilot who died a couple of years ago in a plane crash. Jim was an Air Force veteran, as well. So if you read his bio in the press release, it's in there. And he used to fly Jimmy Buffett around. I mean, this guy has a storied history in the seaplane industry. That was after he got out of the military. So he was definitely a legend. And so we do a scholarship every year in his honor.
That's awesome.
I'm happy to be, offering that to the RTAG guys.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate that and partnering this year and kind of keeping aviation, especially veteran aviation, the memories of folks alive. That's kind of how we thrive in this community. So that is live for all of you watching. That is live on our website right now. You can go and apply. In fact, you need to apply because we're going to cut that off and we're going to present that on the Midway as part of our presentations. It's the Midway is going to be incredible, dude. But we're going to present that and we get in there and apply for it. Look at the rules. It's got a couple different rules. Especially, I will tell you right now, if this is in your wheelhouse and you're like, yep, I want to go do a seaplane rating and I want to go work for Tropic Ocean, you need to get that application because that's, goodness gracious, that's a free way to do it. So it's going to be awesome. So let's take some questions. You good with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's rock live. Let me scoot back here. And, a couple comments just saying the three different ways is awesome. James Ray, thanks for the comment about the management track. It's something it does interest people. That's, sometimes you go to one of the big airlines and you're a pilot and that's good for some people. Some people, they want to do something more. Awesome. Josh Collins says, how many seats are you expecting to fill from the convention, or do you know, or is it just all in one?
Yeah, Josh, this is a good question, man. Right now, like I said, we're still trying to figure out 2022. We think 25 pilots over the course of the year to double what we just did. And it's just a question of when the classes would be. So probably 5 in the Q1 class. And again, Josh, Super Josh here mentioned that if you're a transitioning military guy or girl, and you might not be getting out till next summer, apply anyways. I'll give you a CJO, right? I mean, so you get out, you transition. I mean, there's skills bridge program out there and things like that too. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, definitely don't want to limit that to just the convention. I mean, I'll look out a year from now.
Right. I've got a fun one for you. Robert Jones, you can give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you're coming to the convention, he says, I've got some information to start learning the EPs. All I need to know is the key to the interview. So what's an interview tip? Give him an interview tip if you get to see him at the convention.
Yeah, I'll give you some tips, but look, man, I kind of like the Marine Corps, right? We hire for attitude and trade for skill.
Yeah.
So just keep it in mind,
I love it, man.
Your first question to us, when I say any questions, you're like, well, what do I make? Probably the wrong guy for the job. So just.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's a good one. Aaron, oh man, Lenskendorfer. I'm sorry, bro. I just messed that up. But it says, are the 3 pathways the same application? Do you guys in the management pathway fly much? So if they're doing the management pathway, do they fly much?
Yeah.
And are the applications the same?
All the same. It's just a question of you communicating with us on where you see your future going, right? So look, the way I look at it is this company is going to build a career for you, whether the career is going to be in the airlines or the career is going to be at Tropic. And that career is going to either be a management track or a long-time seaplane track, right?
Yeah.
And you will fly a lot. And then as you move into a management role, you'll fly less, but you'll still fly. So Nick, who's our COO and partner in the company, he was out flying the richest dog in the world today, by the way. I guess that's the thing on Netflix. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So he still flies quite a bit, but he flies maybe 20% of the time. Our chief pilot flies 50% of the time. He flies a lot more actually in season. So yeah, there's still a lot of flying to be done in the management track.
Awesome. Here's one that is obviously one that people are interested in: commuting. Is it a commutable job, or is it something that you need to live local for?
Yeah, it's a challenge, I think, to commute simply because we are, very much on-demand company. We do have set schedules, but we also have on-demand lines that you bid as well. And it is a challenge, I think, for commuting. That being said, we have travel benefits on our airline. We have travel benefits with Silver Airways, which is regional. But right now we're in conversations with 2 of the major 121s on travel benefits, which might be able to open that up.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool.
But right now we ask that you come here. And then we also ask that, look, some people want to live in some beautiful places. So we have operations, New York seasonally, which I don't think is beautiful, but it's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
But we have Antigua, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, Panama. We have all these other really cool spots too, that if you decide to domicile somewhere else, that opportunity is there for you.
And last time we talked, didn't you have like a domicile open for people? It was maybe seasonal that was it might've been Antigua that they just fly out or something.
We have Antigua, Puerto Rico, Panama, which is cool.
Panama would be cool.
Yeah, I love that place, man. And then Bahamas. So we actually just partnered on a domestic Bahamas Airlines, the first of its kind. That actually I think it's going to fundamentally change how people travel around the Bahamas. It's an archipelago with 700 islands, and now there's an amphibious service in Nassau. So it's our pilots there in a mix of Bahamian pilots, and we're using the same development process to train up Bahamian pilots. But there's huge opportunity for folks coming in to spend time in these different locations.
That's super
learn how to kiteboard, spearfish. I mean, rough life. Yeah.
All right.
When the Navy sent me to Key West, for 3 years, I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm getting paid to do this and fly and spearfish." So
sounds like I'm coming down for a spearfishing vacation, is what it sounds like. So Robert Jones, he's excited. Here he is again. He says, "I'm 54 years old and retired Army. The management track appeals to me greatly. Is there a way to annotate that interest on airline apps? And is airline apps? I assume airline apps is what you guys use."
So I'm very hard on my HR manager about not accepting applications without a cover letter, because I don't like those general "to whom it may concern."
Absolutely.
Write a cover letter about why you want to work for Tropic, right? Show us that you give a crap about coming here, and then definitely put in that cover letter that you're very interested in the management track.
Yeah, Rob, I hope you heard that. But yeah, absolutely. And if you're coming out to RTAG, come by and say hi and introduce. I like the cover letter. I'm a big fan of that as well, and I think it's a good. One more time, I think a couple of people missed it that are coming in late. The minimums. What were the minimums again? It's pretty simple, y'all. But
it's literally commercial seaplane is the minimums. And depending on the class, we may have like minimum hours just for that particular class because we have upgrade requirements.
Yep.
Again, like we don't hire. Just to be clear, we don't hire SICs. We hire future captains. So our goal is to get you upgraded as quickly as possible, right? So depending on where we are in our captain progression, depends on how we will, look at that class. So for example, this summer we hired a bunch of 250-hour pilots, whereas our last class we were looking at 700 and above. right? And I know the January, February class, whenever I think it was going to be February, there's going to be a mix of both. So our limit, literally though, is our lower limit is commercial seaplane.
Awesome, man. That's what an opportunity. I'll hold it open for just a couple more questions real quick if anybody's got any. But Rob, what else? Anything else that you want to kind of portray to our members, or what you're expecting? Here comes one. What you're expecting of RTAG?
Yeah.
That event.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just really psyched to be out there. Like we've got my chief of staff coming out. We've got our marketing director coming out. We've got a few pilots coming out too. And it's really just to meet people who are interested in looking at this as a part of their career path.
And do you guys need maintainers?
Yeah, we do, man. We need everybody, bro. Like we need everybody, seriously. So marketing people, by the way, so we're growing, So if you have, look, and that's the funny thing you mentioned earlier. Everyone thinks like I'm not in the Air Force, therefore I can't work in the airline industry. I've got customer service people. So if you come out of the military and you're like, I really like sales, guess what? Yeah. Come interview for that. I was, like I said, a jackass Navy pilot. I'm #1 salesperson in the company. I could do very good business development, So the point is that, veterans have skills and they don't realize that they provide a lot of value outside of the box that they worked in the military. And I think it's very important.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's we try to express upon people. And maintainers. It is just a single engine C rating is all they need to come to you.
It's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Single engine.
And then, here's a good one. So, can I keep my beard?
That's absolutely, man.
Heck look at this, Joey Ramsey. You got it.
I got to shave it. I look younger, but yeah, no. So look, we have guys here that have beards. We say we have relaxed grooming standards. As long as you don't look, as long as it's like kept, right?
Yeah, clean.
Tuck your shirt in, look nice. I mean, we're a luxury product is the way to look at it.
Absolutely.
But and by the way, that was before beards were cool. All right, beards are cool right now.
Yeah.
All right, I grew a beard like back in 2013 when I flew for the company. So I think we set the trend.
That's awesome. I love it. I wish we could do it.
You bring your ink. I don't care about tattoos or whatever.
That's awesome. I could sit here and do this literally all day with you, man, but I know you're busy and I'm busy. Cannot wait to see you out there. Thanks so much. I got some cool, I'll hold one of these shirts for you.
Absolutely.
But
baby cap. I like them small. Don't forget. So
you're what? You're Navy small?
I gotta wear them small, man, to show off the gun. So
keep that medium. Yeah, I'm trying to build to your standard right now. It's a lot of.
You're good, dude. I love that shirt. I can't wait.
Somebody wants to know if sunscreen's included when they come out there. That's probably something you guys got to buy.
Part of your benefits package.
That's right. In the benefits package, 401 sunscreen.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, Rob, thanks so much for stopping by. Everybody go check out the website and look at their career options. Look what they have available. Check out the scholarship. Share it with your friends. It's a great scholarship in honor of an awesome guy, also a veteran that worked for them as well. Come out to RTAG. Make sure you come see Rob and his team. But Rob, thanks so much, and I am pumped, man. I cannot wait. We got two weeks or so, a little bit
man.
2 weeks. Like, it's gonna be epic, man. Good to see you, and we'll see you soon, bro.
You got it. Thanks.
Later.
See you guys.
Oh man, it's so exciting to have Rob come by and just share with us. We've been wanting to do this for a long time and had a chance to talk to him quite a bit, and it's just been absolutely great. They're doing really great things, really working hard, really showing what veteran ownership and leadership can do. And it's just super exciting to see. So make sure that you give him a look and their company a look if you're interested in doing something a little different. If you're a little low time and you want to do something really cool to build your time, if you don't want to do CFI or maybe you don't want to do something different, maybe hauling cargo, you can jump over there, do some seaplane flying and just really have a blast. And maybe, hey, you'll find something that you absolutely love. So without further ado, I do want to do a couple updates for the convention. We are getting in full mode and full gear. It is super exciting. We've got a couple other shows coming up right before the convention. And people have started to we're getting more information and it's just kind of coming really rapidly. We are almost at the threshold for the amount of registrations that we have. I can tell you right now that it's insane. This will be the largest attended one that we've ever seen. Obviously free for veterans, a $25 donation for civilians. We want you to come out. We are working. We've added a couple last minute people that were on the waiting list, and some people had some issues getting out to San Diego. So we were able to add some airlines at the end. We've got some exciting airline announcements that are coming out. It's just going to be incredible. It's going to be great to see you all. Obviously one of the things that we have to do because of California and COVID, we will have masks available, but we do have to wear masks inside of the building, and we're probably going to have to limit the amount of people that are in the building at a time. We do have a very large limit for that, so no issues. It shouldn't be an issue with that. We just posted the schedule of events. And I know there was a little bit of confusion on the schedule of events, but what's cool about it is you don't have to go to any of those breakout sessions, and you don't have to go to all of those breakout sessions. If you have an airline that's talking, or maybe there's something that you want to look for interview prep, or you want to see some of the specific sessions, there is plenty of time to go and pick and choose the sessions and then go around to the different airlines that are available. This year, we have just some awesome lanyards. When you come, you'll get event badges that are going to be super cool, and so we'll keep those as a secret. We're going to hopefully have a pretty efficient process. One of the cool things that we got this year is an awesome junior ROTC is going to come out, and at 10 a.m. So if you're around, even if you're not going to go to the convention necessarily on Saturday, at 10 a.m. for the opening ceremonies, we are having a presentation of the colors. It is going to be very, very exciting. Obviously, Saturday night, the Midway, if you haven't bought tickets, I'm hearing they may be completely sold out. I'm not sure. We're working with the people, but we are on the deck of the Midway for the screening, for the VIP time. That's brought to you by United. So we are super thankful for United Airlines for bringing that sponsorship in and really wanting to commit to veterans. And there's just so much that I want to talk about that I can't talk about. Thank you for the volunteers for what we've got, what you guys are doing. It's overwhelming to see what this community has done and is continuing to do for people. How many volunteers are willing to step up and just say, hey, whatever we got to do, let's make a difference. And before I sign off here, I just want to show you a few things. Obviously, you saw these will be available at, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but we have a new logo piece that we're adding, which you will see here in just a second. So let me bend down here and show you a couple of the shirts that we have that are you can purchase that are going to be awesome. Obviously, all the money, we don't pocket it, we don't take it home. Everything that goes back out towards veterans. We have, I don't even know how many scholarships this year, but I want to say it's like 6 or some odd scholarships this year. I'm giving out at the presentation at the awards gala. So let me show you real quick. So if you guys are like me, you like the 80s, obviously this one's going to be available, right? An 80s style, maybe early 2000s. I can't remember exactly, but fan of Saved by the Bell. Any fans of Saved by the Bell? We decided to fashion a little Saved by the Bell version of the Wolf Pack, much like the Bayside shirt. Boom, that's available. Our 2 new ones this year with the new logo set up for these specific ones. Oh yeah, I love it. Boom, that's available for you. We also got it in OD green. And for those of you who have the original Scum shirt, we decided to go with something a little different this year. So this year, and probably at this convention only, maybe not available again until next year, we decided to rock a new color. Something a little different, something a little exciting. And that's all I'm going to show you for now, because we got some other cool stuff that's coming. We got, obviously, that we have tie clips that are going to be available there, and we're going to have a limited edition at the convention only lanyards. And I'm telling you, these lanyards are pretty stinking sweet. Christian Martin, just like he said there, Christian and his wife have done such a great job volunteering, working at the swag table, right? The RTAG Fridge Fund booth, as we call it. And we thank you for that. And they are going to be ready to set you up and take you out so that you can be part of the, awesome impact that we're having in the veteran community. So that's it. I'm glad you guys stopped by. Share this out with your friends. I do have, like I said, we're leading up to the convention. We have some new sponsors that have actually are working closely with us that we're going to have talking about on the next couple shows. The podcasts are going to be restarting right after the convention. So we'll have those podcasts that you can get on Apple and Podbean and a couple other podcast places. We're working on getting those on Spotify as well, which will be a little bit more long form than this, and a little more, obviously not as interactive, but a little more long form with some really cool interviews at different companies. We've got some great guests that are coming on that are going to talk all about aviation and military and what it is. It's going to be super in depth. I've got reviews that will be starting right after the convention of bags, backpacks, travel gear, neat little things to do. And we're starting a new segment here soon that's going to talk specifically about places to go eat when you're out on the overnight. So if you're out on an overnight and you're looking for somewhere in certain cities to eat, we're going to start a new section for that right after the convention. So lots of stuff leading up. Make sure you get to the website and check out the scholarships. Make sure that if you haven't pre-registered, register. If you can't register, that means that we are sold out on pre-registration. So I will tell you, come Saturday or Sunday, and we have some holdovers that we can for people to get them in, but not a ton. It's going to be packed. It's going to be amazing. Come get that job. Just come to hang out and say hi. We're super excited. More information coming out from Eric, Tim, and Jim and the team. Magazines coming out again this year. We are so pumped, so excited. Thank you, RTAG Nation, for everything that you do, all of the growth. We continue to work and do this for you so that we can make an impact in our community, make an impact in our industry, and really bring something different and new and that works to the veteran community. Thank you so much. And could not tell you how much we can't do this without you. So without further ado, we'll talk to you soon. Probably see you next week, most likely next Thursday. RTAG Nation,